I blew millions on parties and trading. Now I clean hotel rooms. Ask me anything. I'm a guy who got rich by accident, buying crypto back in 2016 when no one took it seriously. In a couple of years, I built a fortune, lived like a king, then burned it all over the next few years. On wild nights, bad trades, and crazy ideas. Now I clean hotel rooms and eat fast food. Ask me whatever you want. I'll tell you how I rose and fell. What's the wildest party you threw when you still had millions? I rented an abandoned warehouse outside the city, hauled in a DJ with speakers that shook the floor, and spread the word among the party crowd. About 100 people showed up, half of them strangers. I ordered a truckload of booze, set up tables with food no one touched. Everyone just drank and yelled. At 3 in the morning, someone dragged in fireworks, and we set them off inside until the roof started smoking. The next day, the floor was sticky from spills, and I found a shoe that wasn't mine. Money flowed like water, and I thought it was awesome. What's the first thing you bought when the cash started rolling in? I rented an apartment with a view of skyscrapers. Glass walls, leather-smelling couches, and a bed the size of a tennis court. Then I got a car. Black with an engine that roared so loud the neighbors' windows rattled. I also bought a pair of engraved watches, heavy like handcuffs. That was all in the first month, before I realized I could go bigger. What party moment still sticks with you, even while cleaning rooms? I was on the balcony of a villa I'd rented by the sea, holding a drink, while 40 people screamed to the music below. The sky was pitch black, stars blazing, and out of nowhere, someone jumped from the roof into the pool, landed like a sack but came up alive. Everyone laughed, and I stood there thinking, this is my world. Now, vacuuming carpets, I see that jump and hear that yell, like an echo from another life. Which celebrity partied with you back then, while you're scrubbing toilets now? There was this singer. I won't name him, but his tracks were everywhere at the time. We met in a club, him in chains, me with a stack of cash. We drank, then rolled to my place where 20 people were already at it. He sang in my living room, no mic, while I slurred along wasted. He left in the morning, leaving an empty bottle. Now I scrub bathrooms and think, he wouldn't recognize me with a rag in my hand. What smell in the hotel takes you back to your high roller days? The pricey perfume rich ladies leave behind in the rooms. It's sweet with a sharp kick. The same vibe that hung in the air at my parties. I open a suit door, and it's like I'm back there. Noise, laughter, clinking glasses. Then I grab the mop, and it's gone. Just bleach in its place. What's the most expensive thing you broke or lost at a party? I smashed a massive glass table on a yacht. Fell on it drunk, and it shattered like confetti. That table cost more than I make in a year now. I also lost a chain, gold thick, with a pendant. Looked for it the next morning but only found empty cups. No one fessed up to taking it. What advice would you give someone who just hit it big and wants to blow it all? Don't think it lasts forever, and don't spend it all at once. Stash half somewhere you can't touch until you're sober. I thought millions were an endless river and burned them like matches. Then I woke up with an empty account and shaky hands. Don't be me. How did it feel the first time you swapped a champagne glass for a mop? It hit like a punch. Palms sweating, back aching, and my head screaming, this isn't me. Then I got used to it. The first time I mopped a room, it smelled of cigars and liquor, and I thought, I used to pay for this vibe. Now it's just a mess I've got to scrub. Which old friends still call, and who ditched you when the money ran out? One guy stuck around. We grew up together, and he never asked for a dime, even when I was handing out stacks. He calls once a month, checks in. The rest, the ones who shouted, brother, and drank on my tab, vanished like smoke when the cash dried up. My phone was dead silent for 6 months, until I changed the number. What food did you order with millions, and what do you eat now on a cleaner's pay? Back then, it was oysters, smoky steaks, and desserts with gold foil. Just because I could. Once I got a seafood tower for $3 and ate it solo. Now it's burgers from the joint around the corner, fries, and vending machine coffee. The real difference is I never counted change before. What do you think of people who trash hotel rooms after parties? They're like I was, living for the moment, not caring who cleans up, and maybe they shouldn't, they're paying for it. I see sheets with stains, bottles under the bed, cigarette butts in cups, and think, I used to leave it like that too. Now I just scrub quietly. What's the weirdest thing you've found in a room while cleaning? Found a rubber doll in a closet. Covered in lipstick, wig all crooked. Thought it was a mannequin at first, then it clicked. Also found a suitcase stuffed with crumpled old bills once. Turned it in at the front desk, but I still wonder whose it was and why they forgot it. Was there a moment when you knew the party days were over for good? Yeah. When I woke up and my phone showed a negative balance. The ground slipped out from under me. I think I was blacking out. There were still people crashed out from the night before. I started kicking them awake, yelling, shoving them out. It was panic and dread. I couldn't believe it. One day we're screaming to music, the next it's silence and the smell of stale beer. That's when I knew it wasn't a hangover. It was the end. How did your family react when you were blowing millions on parties? My mom shook her head, said, "Stop before it's too late." I laughed, sent her pics from yachts and wired cash so she'd quit nagging. My dad stayed quiet but looked at me like I'd already lost it all. When I crashed, they didn't say, "Told you so?" Just brought food and helped with rent. How did you land a job after losing everything? I told the truth. No money, only experiences partying, but I learned fast. The manager stared like I was nuts but gave me a shot. Asked if I was running from some mess. I grinned and said, "Yeah, from myself." Next day I started with a bucket. What habit from your rich days do you still can't shake? I check my phone every 5 minutes. Waiting for texts like back when people invited me to parties or deals. It used to be a rush, now it's just a blank screen. I also love the smell of expensive coffee. I buy the cheap stuff but sniff it like it's from those days. What was worse, hangovers from parties or your first day cleaning? First day cleaning. Hangovers meant a splitting head and nausea, but you knew you'd sleep it off. That first day vacuuming, my back hurt, hands shook from the hose, and I saw myself in the mirror with a rag instead of a glass. Hangovers fade, that felt like a sentence. What's the dumbest way you came up with to burn cash? Rented a yacht more than once. Me and 2 girls I barely knew drank champagne. The view was like a movie, but I don't even remember what we talked about. Threw away a ton of money with nothing left, not even memories. We got so trashed I blacked out. Who from your old party crew would you trade places with now? This one guy who bailed on the scene and put everything into a house outside town. I thought he was boring back then. Now he lives quiet and I scrub toilets. I'd switch, but he wouldn't. Who'd want my mop? Which hotel room do you clean and think, "I'd have partied here before"? The top floor suite, huge windows, lit up bar, couches that could fit 10 people. I see it and picture music blasting, bottles clinking, someone dancing on the table. I'd have booked it for a week and invited everyone. Now I vacuum the rug and wipe other people's fun. What piece of clothing from your old life do you still wear to work? A black leather jacket. Sleeves worn, bought for more than I make in a month now. It used to smell like money and clubs. Now it's dust and bleach. I wear it because it's warm and reminds me who I was. Has a hotel guest ever recognized you as that millionaire party guy? Once, a guy in a slick suit stared while I pushed the cart, then said, "You're that crypto dude. I saw you in a club." I nodded, mumbled something about work. He slipped me a tip and smirked, proved them wrong. He left, and I stood there with a vacuum and $10. What's the dumbest bet you lost at a party? Bet I could down a bottle of tequila in an hour and stay standing. Put up a fat stack of cash. Thought it'd be easy. 40 minutes in, the room spun, I crashed on a couch, and the crowd laughed. Some guy took the money, and I woke up with a hangover and empty pockets. What do you do with tips from guests? Save them or spend them? I save them in an old coffee can. Sometimes it's coins, sometimes a crumpled bill. It all goes in there. I think, maybe I'll stack up for something big, but then I grab coffee or food, and the can's empty again. It's not millions, but it jingles. What story from your rich days do you tell your cleaning coworkers? The night I rented a boat, and we got stuck in the bay. Drunk, out of fuel, yelling at the stars until someone found us at dawn. The crew laughs, asks, "You're not making this up." I show a phone pic, me with a glass, shirt soaked. They shake their heads and keep scrubbing. What do you think of people living like you used to now? I see them in the hotel. Loud flashing cash, booking suites, leaving messes. They're a mirror. thinking it's forever, but I know it's sand slipping through fingers. Sometimes I want to say, watch out, but they wouldn't hear. I didn't either. What hotel item do you hate cleaning most and why? Bathroom mirrors. They're massive, streaked with handprints, toothpaste, sometimes lipstick. You scrub until your arms cramp, and in the reflection, it's you with a rag. I used to see myself in mirrors in a suit. Now it's a uniform. It's a reminder. What was your last $1 million splurge before it all fell apart? Rented a beach villa. Pool, chef cooking lobsters, called everyone in my contacts. Music, drinks, noise till morning. Left thinking, we'll keep living. A month later, my account hit zero, and I was counting change for the bus. How did you get rich off crypto if it started as a fluke? Threw a couple grand into a coin a buddy whispered about. It was worth pennies. I didn't expect much. A year later, I checked my wallet, 5 zeros. Then it was a frenzy, chats, rumors, bets. Luck carried me until I thought it was skill. What's the precious thing you kept from your old life? A pair of steel watches. Glowing dial, cost as much as a car. Didn't sell them, though I could have. They sit in a box, ticking like the pulse of that life. I look at them sometimes and think, I'll sell when I've got a smart plan,